Hi everyone, how are you? I am going to show you some slab demonstration. Okay, so what I have here in front of me is, this is my studio at home that I have. It's kind of a mess right now. I've got some visitors here that want to say hi. Can you say hi? I'd like to climb up on my table. All right, so I'm going to try to walk you through the slab construction. I realize that you're not going to have all the same tools as me, but that is totally okay. Do the best you can with what you have. Okay, and I'm going to just show you on a really small piece of clay. Here I have some clay that I brought with me. Get some out. And I'm going to cut off a chunk that's about the same size as the chunk that you have at home. Okay, so I have a piece of clay. It's about this big. Get this out of the way. You are going to remember to wedge your clay. If your clay is really dry, that is okay. You are just going to, I would sprinkle some moisture in it or wrap it in a wet paper towel and let it sit for overnight. I'm going to keep losing you here. All right, so remember, you push it down. The thing about slab construction is that you've already done it. You did slab construction with your cell phone holders. The difference is that with this one, you're going to build some sort of container with your slab construction. Okay, so I have this mostly rolled out. The tricky part is that you're going to have to find a surface that you can roll it on where it is not going to stick to it. You can try rolling it out on a piece of paper if you can't come up with anything else. If your parents or you have like a drop cloth at your house, that would work. Anything that's like a canvas material, if you do roll it out on a piece of canvas that isn't necessarily like a work surface, the clay should just wash right off of it. If you're using red clay, it could have the potential to stain something if you are rolling it out on something that's precious. Maybe don't do it if you have red clay. So then you're going to cut your piece. I'm just going to make a little box here as your demonstration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the base of it, all the sides, and then also the top. All right, and then I'm going to put them together. So I'll start out by cutting out all the pieces. Okay, so here I have my box so far. I've added two sides to it. Some things that I did when I was going quickly in the video that you might not have caught onto is that I mitered the corners. So I cut a base and I cut the top so that they're exactly the same size. I basically just traced it. I tried to cut all my pieces out on one rollout of my slab so I don't have to roll it out again. That will help keep my clay from drying out. Then, after I had all my pieces cut, I cut my pieces where they connect at a 45-degree angle right here. Okay, you can see from this angle kind of how I cut it off. You can't see it on the outside. I did that to the corners so that when I put them together right here, they fit a little bit better and it just creates a much nicer corner. Here's another one. This might be a better example because that other one isn't cut very well. So it just makes a much sharper and nicer corner. You'll also notice how I scored every place where the pieces touch each other on both pieces of clay. The other thing is that normally I'd have you use slip when you're attaching your clay, but I did not send you home with slip. So water really can work just as well if you use it correctly. So here I have a little bowl of water that I went and got. I'm just putting a little bit of water here and here. Don't use too much, you don't want it to get too weak. And then I'm pressing my clay together. Okay, then I'm going to try and get rid of my seams so you can't even see them. The better I do at connecting those, the stronger my piece will be. Your piece is always going to be weakest at the seams. That's the most likely to be the place where your clay will break as it dries. Okay, now my last piece here, I'm going to connect the same way. I'm going to score and slip. I'm going to connect this last piece, and I'm also going to connect my top lid. All right, so I'm going to fast forward through that to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so now here I have my box, and I want to make it functional, so I'm actually going to cut the lid off. You can just leave the lid off the top. You don't even have to put a lid on it. It is totally up to you. It can go this way or this way. You also have the option of making a cylinder, which I can talk about in a little bit. But I'm going to cut this lid off, and I'm going to cut it in a curve so that when I put it back on, it fits really well and it doesn't slide around. If I just cut it straight, that would work, but then you have to worry about how to keep it from sliding around, like shifting all over the place. So now I've cut this off, and it should, somewhere I didn't get all the way through here, and it should come right off as soon as I am done. There we go. There's my lid. Now I would just let it kind of harden a little bit, becomes more solid, and then the next day I'd be careful not to let it completely dry out, but then I would smooth it out and add any texture that I wanted to. If you want to do a different, you can do any shape you want, literally. In fact, I would encourage you to look up ideas online of slab construction. But one idea that you can do is if you have a slab of clay, you can actually create a cylinder. Oh, here I got a visitor. All right, so let's pretend like this was a bigger piece of clay and I had it rolled out. I'm just going to show you a miniature version of this, but if you roll your slab around like this, you could actually create like a mug or a pencil holder or something like that. You would just need to make sure that you scored and slipped this part right here to get it to stay. And you'd also have to create a bottom, which once you get this together, you could just trace that on your slab. So you have tons of options of what you can create. It just has to be out of slab construction. So I encourage you to look up some ideas before you get started. And once you get started, I'm going to ask to see your progress along the way. So keep me posted, and good luck.